Supercomputers. What is up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt Zupan, aka Zuperman with Zuper Computers. Today, we've got a lot to go over. It's finally here. It's finally here. I can hear you. I can hear you screaming. It's finally here. The parts hunt video that I've been promising. So the last month and a half, I have not been busy. I've been pretty busy. And we've been busy collecting parts. And I've got a lot to show you today. And I want to just get to this as quickly as possible, but I also wanted to give you guys a few pointers if you yourselves are also looking to snipe deals. Because I consider myself a sort of a PC parts deal sniper. Pew, pew. I'm just blasting those deals away. I just see them and I just... I got a guy down here. So a lot of this video is parts and deals that I've gotten off of Facebook Marketplace. I've had to drive around all sorts of places all over the Twin Cities, near, far, everywhere. And usually when I'm trying to find deals, I have to kind of weigh, how much is this part going to actually cost me in the end? Because it's not just the price for me. Now, for some of you guys, it might be if you're building your own PCs or you're giving yourself an upgrade on something, time might not be of the essence. If you see a deal on a part, it might be worth it for you to drive. Because for me, even 30 minutes one way means that I have to spend over an hour getting the part and then also testing it. So a lot of times I'm trying to find parts and deals that I can go ideally in one route and pick up multiple deals along the way. But man, some days are just like I am just sitting in the car. Now I like driving around. I do not stay idle when I'm driving around. I keep myself pretty busy. I even occasionally break out in song.
I was left alone with a broken heart, and all I wanted was just some computer parts. Oh.
And I have to admit, I've been known to drop a beat or two.
Whoa, hey, here I am, grabbing the mic, it's Matt Zupan. I'm on the road, I'm on the hunt for some PC parts. Don't front, I am on my way to find some parts today. Put them in a bill, put them in a case, finding my parts on Facebook Marketplace.
All of that aside, I'm going to be sharing today with you guys the parts, their costs, and what maybe I need to do with them in order to make them sort of sellable, because there's some parts that you can just take and put directly into a PC build, like RAM. Doesn't really usually take much other than maybe a dusting, but other things like graphics cards, I might have to take them apart and reapply thermal paste, thermal pads. I have to test those, so I have to throw them in a test PC and just maybe run a quick stress test on them to make sure that their thermals are right and that they're hitting the clock speeds that they should. CPUs are kind of a different story. Usually processors don't have, unless it's an AMD processor, where you can easily see like a bent or missing pin on it. Intel processors I've never really had an issue with. There's not a lot of parts on there that can get damaged, or the processors, in my experience, don't usually go bad. Motherboards are one of those things that I'm like, unless it's a really good deal and the person seems like they are honest about the state of that motherboard, I usually like to steer away from used or even refurbished motherboards. There's just so much that can go wrong with them, and they can be very time-consuming. Cases are great. I love cases, especially USB 3.0 cases. And you'll see here in a moment, I also ended up getting a 30-inch monitor that, well, you'll see it. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into some of this footage and check out some of the parts we got.
First up, we have two cases. I'm going to throw a little message up here to let you know exactly what model number each one of these are. I might not know what this one is, but I believe I do have the model number for this one. So these two cases I actually got with a bunch of other stuff. So before we go over what I got them for, I'm going to show us the other box of stuff that I got with them, and then we'll go over pricing. All right, and then here's the rest of the stuff that we got. Now this stuff's fire. So over here, we've got a gigabyte motherboard. This has an AMD processor in there, and I'll throw it up right here. This is a DDR3 RAM motherboard, so it is a little bit older, but what I really look for whenever if I'm going to a DDR3 type motherboard, one thing that I really pay attention to is whether or not it has Molex connections or not, because if it does, then most of the time I'm not really very happy with using that motherboard. Something like this would make like a really great either budget gaming PC or even like a streaming PC of some sort, and then it's got the giant cooler on top. And all of this, it looks like it's in really good shape, has a ton of USB connectors, so I was really happy with this pickup. This also came with 2 8GB sticks of Corsair DDR3 RAM, as well as 4 4GB sticks of G-Skill Sniper DDR3 RAM. So there's those two, and then now here's some of the gold right here. Not this so much, but we have an Asus Strix R7 370 graphics card, awesome pickup, and an HD XFX HD Radeon HD, 6850 graphics card. Now this one I don't think is that great, but for playing just like basic games and stuff like that, this thing will get the job done. This thing as well, this is a little bit slower than the GTX 1050 Ti. Now this is a GT 1030, which I don't recommend as a gaming graphics card. However, this is great if you want to extend your monitors to something else, or if you're just using a computer to, I don't know, watch videos or something, browse the internet. So, and if your computer for some reason doesn't have integrated graphics, that's a great card to have. Next up we have just a power supply here, and this is a Seasonic, I think it's a 550 watt. Now that came with it's a semi-modular power supply. So here's your motherboard and your CPU pin connectors, and then the guy gave me a bunch of extra stuff. So these are some of the connectors for the power supply, some miscellaneous computer screws. So I'll throw up the total price of this. I was really happy with getting this for the price that we got it for. Yeah, so let's go on to the next one. All right, guys. So I had to shut my garage door here because they're doing some work outside. So I hope that the lighting's okay. We're gonna just try to get through this as quick as we can. So now here's our next batch of stuff. This is actually from 2 different people, but the price was all the same. So, and I'll throw that up right here. The price was right. So here we got a few graphics cards. So these really aren't worth much of anything other than extending out an additional monitor or two. Especially if you're just using the PC maybe for like a streaming PC. It's a Radeon card. Here's an NVIDIA card. This is a classic. So this is a V6600 GT. Alright, so this one's probably the most exciting one. I mean, it kind of looks cool. So this is a NVIDIA card. It even still has the little plastic piece that nobody ever took off right here, the little plastic peel piece. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, that card's really not for like modern day gaming at all. Alright, and now we've got another gigabyte motherboard. This is a GA78 LMT. So this actually has an AMD Athlon 2 processor in it, so it is pretty old. The reason I like this motherboard in general is because this might work really well for me for if I want to use like a DDR3 test bench or something like that. It's got 2 DDR3 slots. It came with the Patriot Viper 2x4, so 8 gigs of DDR3 RAM. Came with a couple hard drives, and then also a 500 watt power supply. And this power supply actually looks really, really nice, and even the motherboard looks like it's very dust free. It's very, very clean, which is really awesome. And the hard drives are kind of whatever. I probably won't use them. I might even just recycle them. Honestly, I don't like to use used hard drives in my computer builds. especially for my customers, because hard drives do have a lifespan, and they have mechanical parts. Anything could be wrong with them, and they also are pretty slow. The next up here, and this is a pretty dirty power supply, but it's an Antec 430 watt power supply. More than likely, I'm going to put this with a DDR3 type system, because it's got the old Molex connectors. I mean, it does have some SATA connectors as well, but honestly, it's an older power supply, and this lifespan is probably limited. All right, so here is our last case that we acquired. Now this one I picked up, I think for $50. I don't know, I'll throw it up here like I've been doing. This is the first time I've actually taken it out of the box to really look at it. And I gotta say, holy smokes, this is a pretty sweet case. So look at this thing. This is like a very military aesthetic here, except for like obviously it's red and black. I think this case also comes in like an army green. It's got like carrying handles on the top, and look at these. They're like spring loaded, so they automatically close. But yeah, so for carrying your computer, we got a drive bay just kind of punched in. I think that's probably fine. I'll probably be able to snap that back into place here in just a second. USB 3.0, check. It's got, I don't know, this is the restart button. Look at this. So it's got a little, you flip it up, and then you hit the reset button. It's like a detonator button. And then here's your power button. That's pretty cool. And then the back, so these panels are kind of like hooked on here by this, by these little clasps, and I haven't even opened this up yet, so let's take a look. One thing that I do want to note here really quick before I open it up, and the person who sold me this said that this was an issue with it, is that it's just got some scrapes on the top here. Honestly, for $50 this case online, I can't find it any cheaper than like $200, and I don't know if that's because it's just not made anymore, and so people are charging outrageous prices. I wouldn't pay $200 for this case, honestly. So far, from what I've seen, I'd probably pay, $60 to $80 for it, depending on what the cable management system's like in the back. So let's take a look at that. So we're gonna pop these off. Gosh, this is cool. All right, and that looks clean inside. Okay, so we'll put this cover over here. Comes with the instructions, a couple of fans, both Corsair, so I'm assuming that they probably came with the case. It looks like it does have some pretty decent cable management back there, so that's pretty awesome. I'll back out a little bit. Plenty of drive bays, a lot of drive bays. Yeah, so this case is pretty sweet though. All right, now on to the next. Oh, so here is a Core i7 full PC. The price was right. So let's take a look inside here. This one's pretty interesting, and I actually really like this as a potential build for like an entry-level light gaming PC. And the reason why, so I've looked this one over a little bit. First of all, it is dusty in here. This is gonna be a little bit of effort to clean this out. Probably take out all of everything, blow it out, wipe it down, maybe even use some electronics cleaner and just get in there and kind of get all the nooks and crannies all cleaned up. What I like about it is that the power supply that is in here, I believe, was a 450 watt power supply. So what that means for me, we can throw a GTX 1060 in here no problem. And the i7, I'll throw it up here about what it is. Really fantastic potential. This thing has a lot of potential. I like the color. I'm a huge fan of red and black. It was a Windows 7 PC, so kind of dates it a little bit. It does not have USB 3.0 ports anywhere on it. It does, however, have plenty of USB ports and some SD card slots, which really have to be cleaned out as well. This thing has a lot of potential, and I'm pretty excited to get this into a build. It'll probably be a pretty budget build, maybe like $500 or so, maybe less. I'm not really sure yet. But yeah, this thing should game at least at 1080p low settings. That's kind of my goal, is 1080p low settings, somewhere in the price range of $400 to $600. All right, on to the next thing. All right, so we got 3 monitors, all of which are 1080p monitors. None of them are high refresh rate, meaning over 60 hertz or 60 frames a second. But all of them are 1080p monitors, and once again, the price was right. So here we have just like a Dell, and honestly this is an older Dell. You can kind of just tell by how fat it is here. That's probably like a good 2.5 inches or so, just thick. And it's got like the buttons, you know, the buttons on the front. It tilts. It tilts, it rotates. Oh, it's got composite connectors. Oh, that is pretty old. But it also has some USB connectors, so it can be used as a USB hub. So again, free, awesome. Another Acer monitor, AL2216W, and a Dell monitor, another Dell monitor. And so yeah, so those are the 3 monitors we got for free. We have one more monitor to look at, and it is a beast. So let's go check that out. So this is the mother of them all, the deal of the century. Okay, so I know that this thing looks kind of old, 2012. This is the Dell U3011. This thing is a 2560 by 1600 resolution monitor. So it's not 16 by 9 like most monitors are. Like we got one behind here. So this, to put it in size reference too, so this is a 30-inch monitor. This is a 27-inch 1440p monitor in the back here. So this is higher resolution than a 1440p monitor, but it's also a 16 by 10 ratio. But check this out. Just watch. Look at this. So when it turns on, it has the beep from 10 years ago. But did you see that? See these buttons? Okay, so I wish that this camera was capturing like how crisp this is, but this monitor is like amazing. Now these little buttons on the front here, these are actually touch buttons to bring up your different settings. I think I gotta push the bottom one first. Okay, input select. You can change. Look how many inputs this thing has. So this is a 60 frames a second monitor, so 60 hertz. So it's not really super great for gaming. However, it's massive size. Again, behind it, that's a 27-inch monitor right there. And to also put it in perspective here too, that's a 32-inch 1440p monitor. Look at this. Look at how many ports this thing has. The cable that's plugged in right over there. So we got our power cable and then display port, 2 DVIs, a VGA, 2 HDMIs, and some composite connectors, I think, right there. Component. I keep calling them composite, but they're component. And then a couple USB connectors on the back as well. This monitor, brand new, was somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,000. And that was in 2012. And it still sells today. The cheapest one that I could find online is like $850 for it refurbished. So pretty awesome find. I haven't tested all the ports on it. I'm gonna have to test some of this, but pretty happy with this monitor. And we have one last thing, not really a parts hunt, but I just have to share it. Alright, so I actually lied. There's 2 more things left. This is one of them. So I was making this video, and then just, I think yesterday or the day before, I picked up a deal on these graphics cards. So these are EVGA GeForce GTX 1070s, the superclocked editions. And the reason I'm saying like it's plural is because I got 2 of them. So I got this one, which is obviously in a PC build already. But yeah, so I got 2 of them, and I'll throw up the price. Not free, but nevertheless, I thought that they were a good deal for a 2-pack. And these are pretty decent graphics cards even still today. Alright, so now on to the last thing. Just kidding, I didn't get this on a parts hunt, obviously. But I did get this at Micro Center because I won their little raffle in the morning. And it's a 3070 Ti. And we put one of these in another build video coming soon. Then we got the second one as well. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, now seriously, back over to me.
All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Just as a little side note, all of those parts were picked up over the course of the last month and a half or so, kind of July, and probably when this video is going to be posted is going to be towards the end of August. And I do want to just say quick about the pricing on those. You know, like, again, going back to what I said earlier, I have to kind of balance out whenever I'm sniping a parts deal. I have to weigh, you know, how much am I saving on the part and how much time am I going to have to invest in making that part sellable and do a nice build. So some of the prices on there I do have to raise, but really my ideal part is something that I can get for super cheap compared to its retail value or its average sale price if it's, you know, obviously used. So that way I can kind of cut down on that cost to save you guys, if you're getting a build from me, to save you money on the build. My goal on every single build is, even with my build fee and software installation fee, even with those included, that you're still saving money if you were just to go buy those parts individually for their average sale price. And I usually compare that to eBay, Amazon, Facebook Marketplace, and even like Walmart and Best Buy and stuff like that. I look at those as well. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. If you liked it, please like it. If you like the content, please subscribe. If you're looking to get a build or an upgrade or a repair on a gaming PC, please see me at my link. Oop, I always forget. It's like right there, right here. Go to my website, drop me a line. You can find all my contact information on there. I do stream semi-regularly. So my YouTube channel, I got a Twitch channel, and I also have a Facebook page. And whenever I live stream, I stream to all three platforms at the same time. So if you're interested in seeing some gameplay, please like and follow whatever on each one of those. I'll have links right up here to where you can find those, as well as in the description. If you want some merch, I got a merch store. It was super easy to set up. Or if you're interested in setting up your own merch store, I highly recommend Spreadshirt or Spreadshop. They are just great. They're so easy to set up. I don't make like a fortune off of every single merch item. It's just like a couple bucks, and it's more of a fun thing. We got some baby onesies and stuff in there. It's pretty cool. So thanks a lot, guys, for sticking around to the end. If you want to see some additional content, maybe some how-to videos, either software setups or Windows configurations or anything like that, please let me know in either the comments or contact me directly. Hope to see you in the next video. Have a Zuper day.
The supercomputers.